बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। जी, हम अब ए लेवल्स के भी क्लासेस साथ शुरू कर रहे हैं। आज हमारा ए लेवल मैथमेटिक्स का जो पहला ये वीडियो है, इसमें हम एएस से स्टार्ट करेंगे। तो एएस का जो हमारा पहला टॉपिक है क्वाड्रेटिक्स, तो उस पे बात करेंगे। तो पहले इसके जो है हम जो बेसिक चीज़ें वो मैं आज एक्सप्लेन करूँगा, और फिर इसमें मतलब काफ़ी सारे जो है काफ़ी लंबी चौड़ी चीज़ें हैं इसमें, तो वो साथ साथ हम इसमें ऐड करेंगे। तो आज अभी हम ये शुरू करते हैं क्वाड्रेटिक्स का टॉपिक हमारा। जी, क्वाड्रेटिक्स। तो क्वाड्रेटिक्स को समझने से पहले आप ये देखें कि जो ग्राफ्स का जो मतलब बिहेवियर होता है उसको हम किस तरह से कंसिडर करते हैं। तो उसमें एक चीज़ जो है ग्राफ का बिहेवियर और उसके डिग्री ऑफ एन एक्सप्रेशन, इनका आपस में क्या रिलेशन है। तो सबसे पहले कि डिग्री, व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय डिग्री? डिग्री ऑफ अ पॉलिनोमियल। तो डिग्री ऑफ पॉलिनोमियल जो है वो क्या होती है? इज़ द हाईएस्ट पावर ऑफ वेरिएबल इन अ पॉलिनोमियल। यानी क्या मतलब है इसका कि अगर ऐसे कोई एक्सप्रेशन है y इज़ इक्वल टू एक्स रेज टू द पावर 5 प्लस कुछ भी हो सकता है, तो इसमें ये जो पावर है, यहाँ देखें इसमें पावर 1 भी है, 3 भी है, 2 और 4 जो है वो भी समझे वो ज़ीरो है। तो ये जो हाईएस्ट पावर है इसमें ना, तो ये इसकी डिग्री जो है इसकी वो 5 हो गई। तो सबसे पहले ये समझना है कि डिग्री का मतलब क्या है। किसी एक्सप्रेशन में जो सबसे बड़ी पावर है वो उसकी डिग्री कहलाती है। अब देखिए हमारे जो ग्राफ्स हैं, जो मतलब बहुत डिटेल में तो नहीं, लेकिन कुछ बेसिक चीज़ें क्वाड्रेटिक का मतलब समझने के लिए, कि अगर ये इक्वेशन है ना y इज़ इक्वल टू एम एक्स प्लस सी, तो इसमें अगर ये इक्वेशन है और इसकी डिग्री की अगर हम बात करें, इसको यूँ कर लेते हैं कि दिस इज़ इक्वेशन, then degree of this equation, degree is 1 because highest power of variable is 1. And its graph, what type of graph do we expect from here? So there is this way a straight line or this way. That means it will be a straight line with positive or negative gradient, straight line depending on the sign of the gradient. Now next is an expression of this type, ax square plus bx plus c. Then degree of this equation is 2. If degree is 2, then its graph is this way or this way. This is called quadratic. इसको क्वाड्रेटिक को अभी हम आगे चल के एक्सप्लेन करेंगे। फ़िलहाल ये कि इसका मतलब क्या है, क्वाड्रेटिक कहलाता है। और अगर ये फ़र्ज़ करें कि ए एक्स क्यूब प्लस बी एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस सी एक्स प्लस डी, दिस इज़ द स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म ऑफ क्यूबिक इक्वेशन बिकॉज पावर इज़ 3, सो दिस इज़ क्यूबिक. Its power is, degree is 3, then its graph is expected to be this way or this way. This is cubic. तो आप यहाँ से अंदाज़ा लगा सकते हैं कि क्वाड्रेटिक वो होता है जिसमें डिग्री 2 हो, यानी स्क्वायर हो। तो क्वाड मीन्स फोर, यानी जो फोर साइडेड जैसे स्क्वायर होता है ना, ये स्क्वायर का एरिया अगर इसको आप वो करते हैं तो ये x इंटू एक्स, तो ये दैट इज एक्स स्क्वायर. So in that context it is called quadratic where degree is 2. तो इसका मतलब है कि next time whenever you come across an expression having degree 2, that means it will be quadratic. Okay, now we will uh, compose ourselves focus on only quadratic expressions. Now, the standard form of quadratic expression, standard form is y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, or if y is equal to 0, then it will be ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Now, what is the difference between these two? When y is equal to this, it represents every point of a quadratic curve. Every point is y, depending on the value of x. And in this way, when it is equal to 0, that means only these two roots where y is equal to 0. So in any case, this is the standard form. Now, we will look into the behavior of a quadratic graph. So we start from the simplest form, x square, or you can say ax square. Then its graph is very simple. It passes through origin, and the reason why does it pass through origin, because when x is 0, y is 0. So this point is 0, 0. Now, let's say if it is the graph of y is equal to positive x square, we will talk about this, the value of a, later on. So far, we will discuss that what is the effect of this positive or negative sign. So if it is positive, then this point is called its stationary point, which will be minimum. And if it is y is equal to negative x square, its graph will be something like this. It is not very neat and clean, but I hope you will understand the main purpose of drawing this. This is its stationary point is now maximum. So now we will elaborate these terms, that what do we mean by these things. So if it is minimum or maximum in both of the cases, I will enlarge it, and now you can see that this will be here, this point is called its vertex. The lowest point is vertex, and in this one, when x square is negative, then this is the vertex. Okay. Now you can see that this is the minimum point of this graph. This graph is not below this point and not above this point. So this point is called vertex or stationary point, or it is also known as turning point. Same is here on this side. You can say that this is either vertex, or you can name it as stationary point, or you can say this is turning point. So turning point, that means whether it is minimum or maximum, in both of the cases these points are same terms used for them, but the difference is that this vertex or stationary point or turning point is maximum. You can relate this sentence with these words: vertex is maximum or stationary point is minimum or turning point. So this turning point is minimum. This turning point is minimum when y is equal to positive x square. If it is positive, the turning point is minimum. And on the other side, here you can see that these points, these points, these terms are used as this is uh, turning point or vertex or stationary point is maximum. This is maximum when y is equal to negative x square. So in case of positive, the turning point is minimum, and in case of negative, the turning point is maximum. So this is what you need to understand, that the points are minimum or maximum. So now you can say that we can define them separately, that stationary point, the point where gradient of tangent is 0, gradient of tangent is 0, is called stationary point. Stationary point or turning point. Turning point or vertex. Now, any one of these terms used, I write it in shorter form. Stationary point is maximum when y is equal to negative x square, and stationary point is minimum when y is equal to positive x square. So this is the way you can understand that what is the basic concept of a quadratic equation. Next is that quadratic graph is symmetrical in a line parallel to y-axis. I think it should be little thicker. So when it is parallel to y-axis, the graph is symmetrical in a line parallel to y-axis. That means it may be like now you can see that the graph is symmetrical in this line y-axis itself, and it may be like this. This is symmetrical in the line this line which is parallel to y-axis, or if it has a maximum point, even then it is symmetrical this way, that this is the line parallel to y-axis. So this is symmetrical. The graph is symmetrical in this line. We will talk about it later on in more detail. So this is what we need to understand, that line of symmetry. Another thing we can define, that line of symmetry passes through this stationary point. Okay, this is one thing what you need to understand, that this is a symmetrical graph, and the shape of quadratic curve is called parabola. Shape of quadratic curve quadratic graph or quadratic curve is called parabola. You can say parabola or parabolic shape. I think that's enough to call it parabola. Okay, so these are few basic things. Now let's move to the next concept. Now you can see that if there is a graph, if it is a graph like this is y is equal to x square, and if we move this graph horizontally this way, let's say this is 1, 2, 3 units. If this point is moved 3 units towards right, then the whole graph will move this way, and its shape will be something like this. Now this time x is equal to 3. If x is equal to 3, that means x minus 3 is equal to 0. So the equation of this graph will now become x minus 3 whole square. Now next time, we won't go into all this detail next time, but we will relate it to the number written here. If it is positive, x is equal to positive 3. Then shifting this 3 to the other side, it will become negative. So, and the equation of this curve becomes x minus 3 whole square. तो ये चीज़ आपने याद रखनी है कि अगर इस तरफ पॉजिटिव, अगर ये पॉजिटिव साइड पे जा रहा है तो x इज़ इक्वल टू पॉजिटिव 3, तो उस तरफ नेगेटिव हो जाता है. तो जो भी साइन इधर होगा उसके ऑपोजिट साइड पे ग्राफ जो है वो ट्रांसलेट करेगा. यानी इसका मतलब है कि अगर ये ग्राफ ऐसे हो, कोई दूसरा ग्राफ हम यूँ बनाते हैं कि वो इस तरफ यूँ है, लेफ़्ट साइड पे, यहाँ पे, और let's say this point is -2. If x is -2 here, और ये हॉरिजॉन्टल x एक्सिस है ना, तो ये आपको पता है कि y is 0 here. तो now we would say that x is equal to -2, then x plus 2 will be 0. तो अगर ये x plus 2 equal to 0 होगा तो इसकी इक्वेशन जो है फिर हम यूँ लिखेंगे x plus 2 whole square. तो इस तरह हम जो ये एक्सप्रेशन है इसमें दो बातें आपने इसका ध्यान रखना है. नंबर वन, दैट द ग्राफ स्लाइड्स opposite to this given sign. Number one. Second thing, that this number, this constant value 2 or 3 or any other number is inside this square, inside the square. So now if I write it as x minus 4 whole square, that means the graph moves 4 units towards right. हमने ग्राफ बनाया नहीं है, लेकिन इसके सिर्फ इस एक्सप्रेशन से देखते हुए कि अगर इफ इट इज़ नेगेटिव देन इट मस्ट मूव 4 units टूवर्ड्स राइट, दैट इज़ टूवर्ड्स पॉजिटिव. तो मैं ये पूरा सेंटेंस लिखने की बजाय सिर्फ एक एरो के साथ ये इस तरफ जाएगा 4 units. तो पहले ये बात समझ आनी चाहिए. उसके बाद अब अगर हम इसका ग्राफ स्केच करें भी तो ये जो है इस तरह से ये ऐसे होगा. इस जगह पे ये 4 units इस तरफ आएगा, 1 2 3 4 units उस तरफ जाएगा. इसका मतलब है कि अगर ऐसे हो y इज़ इक्वल टू x प्लस 5 होल स्क्वायर, दैट मीन्स द ग्राफ विल मूव टूवर्ड्स लेफ्ट इक्वल टू 5 units. 5 units ये लेफ़्ट की तरफ जाएगा अभी ग्राफ ये. तो इसको अगर हम स्केच करते हैं तो ये 5 units जो है ये क्वाड्रेटिक कर्व होगा और 5 units उधर जाएगा. तो अगर इसका ये एक ही पॉइंट पे हमने फोकस किया हुआ है, वैसे बाय द वे पूरा ग्राफ जब एक पॉइंट उधर जाएगा तो पूरा ग्राफ ही उस तरफ चला जाएगा. तो इस तरह आप इसको समझ सकते हैं कि दिस पॉजिटिव साइन moves it towards left, and this negative sign is here, that moves the graph towards right. तो होल स्क्वायर जो ये एक्सप्रेशन है इसका होल स्क्वायर का, उसके अंदर वाला नंबर इसको हॉरिजॉन्टली स्लाइड करेगा. उसके बाद अब हम आ जाते हैं कि अगर बाहर हो ये जो इसका वो मतलब जो नंबर है वो एक्स स्क्वायर से बाहर हो तो क्या होगा. तो अब देखें ये जो है इफ इट इज़ लाइक दिस इज़ द ग्राफ y इज इक्वल टू एक्स स्क्वायर. तो अगर हम इसको एक्स स्क्वायर से बाहर एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस 2 अगर कर दें तो क्या होगा कि अब ये 2 units, it will move 2 units upwards. This will be y is equal to x square plus 2. And if it is this way minus 3, then its equation will be y is equal to x square minus 3. So if the number is away from the whole square of x, if x is squared here and this 2 is away from that, it is separately written that 2, then this number translates the graph vertically. Okay, these are two things. Third thing, like let me mark it as this is first concept, that how the graph translates horizontally, and this is second, that how the graph translates vertically. And now one more thing I'll explain here, that if the graph is this way. Uh, if it is y is equal to x square, let me make it little thicker. Now, y is equal to x square. Its graph, that is, if this is the graph, y is equal to x square. This is y is equal to x square, positive. And this graph is compressed inside. And let me use some different color. And if this is another graph, 1, 2, 3. These are 3 graphs I have drawn here. This second graph is for y is equal to x square. Then what do you think? Which one should be the graph of 2x square? 1 or 3? 1 or 3? Which one? So apparently it seems that most of the times students answer is that it should be 3, but it is not 3, but it is graph number 1. So this is graph number 1, which represents 2x square. Now, how is it? Why it is 1? Because if I go into little more detail, then you can say that, like if I draw a small table here. So this is x is here, x square, and I make another row for 2x square. So now you will see that if x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can see that if we square them, x square is 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25. But 2x square becomes 2, 8, 18, 32, and 50. What does it mean? That when x is 1, y is 1 here for this one. X is 2, y is 4. 2, 4 against it. So it will be graph something like this. But for 2x square, when x is 1, y is 2. And when x is 2, y is 8. So it will move inside. The graph gets compressed. So this is y is equal to 2x square. This is y is equal to x square. So from here, you can understand that if y is equal to half x square, then probably this type of graph which expands more, that represents half x square. So this way you can understand that the number along with 2, x square, sorry, the number coefficient along with it, as it becomes larger, the graph is more compressed. The graph is moved more inside. As it becomes smaller, like half x square, so the graph expands this way. So this is what you need to understand. Now we have discussed three different things. This is third. Three different things, that if there is a number inside the square, the graph slides horizontally, opposite to the given sign. If the number is outside the square, graph slides vertically. And if there is a coefficient that makes the graph squeezed inside, or it expands depending on the value given here. So if we generalize all these things, that how is it? So that is uh, like if y is equal to a x minus b whole square plus c. What a does, that stretches the graph, stretches the graph like stretch factor, with stretch factor will be 1 upon a, opposite to this. What is the role of this number inside the square? Slides the graph horizontally, equivalent to opposite to the given sign, opposite to the given sign. Opposite to given sign means if it is minus b here, so graph moves towards right. If it is plus b, the graph moves towards left. And this c, what the c plays a role, that the graph slides vertically, responding to the given sign, responding to the given sign. Okay, so this is what you need to understand. These are the things, basic concepts of quadratic graph. So still there are many more things we have to discuss. So I think this is enough for today. I'll explain the same things in a graphic software type thing, which draws the graph very neatly. So in the next video, we will talk about almost same things with a graphic software. So by that time, I think it's over. If you have any questions, if you have any queries, you can write in comments. Inshallah, I will try to address them, and it will help me as well, that I will come to know that what type of questions you people can ask. So by that time, Allah Hafiz. Okay ji, wish you all the best.